Hi class, this is Mrs. Bissot here. Now that you're done listening to the story, Anna Goes to Washington, D.C., please take out your Wonders, Your Turn practice book, and please turn to page 223. And it looks like this. It's a 2, 2, and a 3. 223. The first thing I would like for you to do is to write your name on top, like we normally do. I will write mine while you're writing your name. Mrs. Bissot. Okay, so it looks like we are going to be doing a lot of writing today. So I'll try to keep it as short as we can. And let's take a look what they want us to do. It says comprehension, main topic, and key details. Reread Anna Goes to Washington, D.C. So you just re-listen to my story. And it says, write the main topic to tell what it is about. Write key details to tell more about the topic. So right here where it says T-O-P-I-C, that says topic. What is a topic? What was the story about? So Anna Goes to Washington, D.C. It's on the title. What does Anna do in the whole story? She goes to Washington, D.C. She goes on a trip to Washington, D.C. That was the topic. The whole story was about Anna's trip to Washington, D.C. Now, I don't think that's going to fit, but if you said it out loud, you would say, the story, Anna Goes to Washington, D.C., is about a girl named Anna who visits Washington, D.C. Or you could say, the story, Anna Goes to Washington, D.C., is about Anna and the trip she takes to Washington, D.C. And then we'll say key details. We'll talk about the places she goes to. Now, that is way too long to write here, but that's the way you should say it when you say it out loud. So over here, to keep it short so that it fits in here, the topic was Anna's trip. And it was her trip to Washington, D.C., but that is really, really long. So we will write the topic was Anna's trip. And then on 1, 2, and 3, we will give key details of the things she actually saw on her trip. So let's write Anna's trip. So we write Anna with a capital A. So right up here in this top line here, so let's write Anna. And see, it says Anna right here. Now, this is Anna's trip. Now, there's only one Anna, so we don't want to just add an S, so it sounds like there's a lot of Annas. So what we do when we're going to talking about something belonging to someone, we're going to learn this even more in first grade, which is right around the corner. We're going to put, it looks like a little hangy comma up here, right after the A. Okay. And then we'll add the S. A little apostrophe. So now it says Anna's, but we know that there's only one Anna because it has this here to kind of block it. Right here, separate it. So it's not a bunch of Annas. It's only one Anna, and the trip belonged to Anna. So Anna's trip. So the story was about Anna's trip. And we don't have to put a capital for the trip, the word trip. So please put finger space, make sure there's space after the S. So if you use a popsicle stick or something else, put something after the S, and let's write the word trip. R. Trip. An I and trip. And a P. Good job. And these are not complete sentences. We're only just giving little bits of information. Okay, so the main topic, the whole story was about Anna's trip. And they did lots of planning for this very neat trip to Washington, D.C. They had a map and they had all the areas they were going to look at, all the special important places they were going to visit on their trip to Washington, D.C. So what are some places that they visited when they were in Washington, D.C.? You can pick your 3 favorite if you would like. You could go back to the story and pause and then copy the names of the places, or you could do the 3 with me together. Okay, so let's take a look. I'll look at the book and we'll review. There were more than 3 places she visited, so we'll just pick 3. So when she was here, so here she was just at her house. They're packing, and they were looking at the map, getting ready. Okay, and one of the first places that they visited on the trip was the National Mall. Now, you learned that it's not a mall like the mall that you go to when you go shopping. It's a mall like it has these important historical buildings, and it is called the National Mall. So that was the first place they visited on this trip. So we're going to write National Mall. Now, this is the name of the mall. It's called National Mall, and it's right here, and it's the name of it. So we're going to put a capital N for National and a capital M for Mall. So you could copy it. You go ahead of me if you'd like, or you could go ahead and do it with me. So National, I'm going to just copy capital N, and then an A, and a T, N-A-T. We have it right here. National. And it's wacky. It does not look at all what it sounds like. An I and an O. National. No. N. A. And an L. National. And you're going to learn about this T making that sound when you're a big kid really soon. National Mall. Now, if you have room to fit the word mall here, you could fit it here, or you could do it on this next line. Both of these lines are for number 1. I'll write it down here. Another capital M, because that's a name of the mall. It's called National Mall, so they both have a capital. M-A-L-L. So the first key detail, the first place that she saw Anna went to on her trip was the National Mall. Okay, go ahead and write that down. Okay, so now we're going to go down over here to number 2. And then, so let's think of another key detail. Where's another place that she visited at the mall? So they also went here and saw the Washington Monument. So if you want to pick the Washington Monument, you could write that for number 2 if you'd like. They also came here and they saw the statue of Abraham Lincoln. And she learned about how he's the same person on the penny. Ooh, I want to write about this one because this is a very fancy place. So then they went to the White House, and you learn that that is where the President of the United States lives. So every time there's a new president, this is where the president moves in. And then when the new president comes in, that president lives there. And then this has been going on for many, many years. So I think this is a pretty important place that they visited. So for number 2, let's put the White House. And they will have capital letters also because that is the name of this place where the president lives. It's called the White House. So we're going to put, so let's see, and see right here it says White House. So you could always use those clues from the book to copy. Okay, so the first key detail, they went to the National Mall and learned about all those buildings. Later, they went to the White House. They saw the White House. So we're going to write White House. We're going to make a capital, beautiful capital W. And it has an H. I. An I. The I says its name. Remember, vowels can say their name sometimes, especially if they have a magic key like this word does. White. A T. Now, this says wit, but it needs that magic key. It's going to make I say its name. So we're going to put this E is just there. It doesn't make a sound. It's just there to make I say I. So it doesn't say the White House. So it says the White House. White. Now, house is kind of a long word. I'm going to write it down here. House will have a capital H because this is the name of this building. It's called the White House. We're going to put in a capital H. House. O and a U makes a sound. Ow. like ow. House. An S. And guess what? House also has a magic silent E. Okay. So that's the second key detail that we saw pictures of here in our book. They went to the White House. And then last, they went to, let's see, where else did they go? Later, they went to many, many places. So we could write about any of these places. They went to, this is a very important place. This is where they make very important decisions about different things that are going to be approved or not approved, and very important court cases for our country that helps make decisions of what will happen next, of things that people can do and can't do. And this is called the Supreme Court. And this is a very, very important courthouse. So we're going to write, and then last, they went to the Supreme Court. So we're going to write that. I'm going to try to write that one a little bit skinnier because we only have one line for it. But it says right here, Supreme Court. So I'm going to write capital letters for those again because that is the name of this courthouse. It's called the Supreme Court. So Supreme, so we're going to put capital S, and we have it written here. So you could copy it, Supreme Court. U and a P and an R. Okay. S, capital S, U, P, R. E. Oh, there's an E that makes the sound E. Supreme. And M. So, now this is supreme. It needs that magic E that's quiet, but it makes that say supreme. Supreme. And we're going to put finger space, and we're going to write court with a capital C because that is the name of this court. Make sure there's space right there. Court. And then they spell it O-U. I'm going to have to squeeze them in. Court. R and a T, just enough room to squeeze it in. All right, great job. So if we put it all together, the topic, the story, Anna Goes to Washington, D.C. is all about, the topic was, it was about Anna's trip. And then if we gave some key details, things that they slowed down and really told us about in the story, Anna went to the National Mall. She went to the White House. She also went to a lot of other places. And she also lastly went to the courthouse. Then finally, she went back home. Well, friends, thank you so much. I know this was a lot of writing, but I know you could do it because you are almost ready to be first graders. And I can't wait to see you work. I will work again with you later. Bye.